Hello everybody. After discussing ADAS homologation in a very general manner, we will see ADAS homologation in the context of three important ADAS functionalities, that is lane keeping assist, next is automatic emergency braking, and the next is driver monitoring systems. Let's see for these three ADAS functionalities how ADAS homologation is faring. Now everybody knows what is lane keeping assist, but just to set the context, lane keeping assist is a feature that uses forward facing cameras to detect lane markings. Now it also provides steering inputs or warnings to prevent unintentional lane departures, and it typically works between 60 to 140 km per hour. Now this is a very typical value, this is not accurate value, depending upon the automaker's choice and also the automaker's what you call application, whether it is a sedan or whether it is a SUV or whether it is a two-seater sports car. So depending on the application, this velocity is determined. Now when it comes to types of LKA systems, the lane departure warning functionality, it only alerts the driver visual, audible and haptic. This is a typical lane departure warning, and as on now no steering control is added. There is no intervention. Now when it comes to lane keeping assist, gentle steering corrections like mild intervention is added. Okay, it mildly intervenes with the steering and it tries to bring the vehicle into the center of the lane. And coming to lane centering assist, continuous centering in lane and strong intervention is required. The functionality is continuous centering in the lane and the intervention level is strong intervention. Now coming to the current regulatory status in India, existing standards like AIS 145 mandates basic lane departure warning for new models, and new regulation yet to active LKA and LCA under discussion. Okay, this basic lane departure warning in the previous slide in the table, the first one in the table, it is only give some basic warning, it does not intervene, not even mildly. This is the one as on now which is mandated, and whether to mandate active LCA or lane centering assist is still under discussion. But one advantage of basic lane departure warning is the vehicle, when it is audited by the Bharat NCAP or Bharat NCAP program, it definitely awards points to the safety. Now coming to the testing requirements, Indian LKA systems must address poor lane marking visibility, faded, missing or incorrect markings. Okay, so testing requirements must encompass these kind of test scenarios. Next comes the non-standard road width varying 2.7 meters to 3.7 meters. One biggest problem in India is roads are not having standard width, and when it comes to temporary construction zone markings, this is also a big challenge, because many times during the road constructions the workers, they add some temporary construction zone markings. And of course highway versus urban road performance, LKA homologation process in India. Now these are all highway versus urban road performance. Now these are all the various testing requirements that must be encapsulated. Now next comes the LKA homologation process in India. Let's briefly touch upon this, how this lane keeping assist is prevalent in India. First is the camera and software validation, day and night performance testing, monsoon low light conditions, dust water resistance validation, ARI's environmental chamber test, and algorithm tuning for Indian lane patterns, which include broken lines and dotted lines. Next comes the step 2, which is track testing, which includes ARI or ICAT. Now straight line maintenance like NH48 simulation or curve negotiation up to 500-meter radius curves, false positive testing like shadow lanes or tar patches, etc., etc. Okay, this track testing is also a part of the homologation in India. And next comes the real world trials, whether you are testing on Delhi Mumbai Express, which has good markings, or city roads poor or no markings, and hill roads Uttarakhand and Himachal routes. Next comes the CMVR certification, submission of 2000 kilometers of validation data, and next is the MORTH, Ministry of Road Highways approval for type certification. Okay, these are all the various steps that are required for LKA homologation in India. Now, unique challenges for LKA, the road marking inconsistencies, only 40% of Indian highways are proper lane markings. Okay, and non-standard colors like white, yellow, blue mixes. So people don't have a proper what you call nomenclature or a proper rules and regulations to use which color at which point. So this can lead to temporary markings during road repairs. Now coming to driver behavior impacts. Now, frequent lane cutting by trucks and buses, deliberate straddling of the lane markings, or two-wheeler filtering between the lanes, all these things are the driver behavior impacts or erratic driving behavior in India, which can affect the lane keeping assist. Next comes the environmental factors, which includes the monsoon rains obscuring cameras, highway glare during the afternoons, dust accumulation on the camera lenses. Okay, on some dusty roads, this can be a very big challenge, dust accumulation on the camera lens. Now, how is our Indian standard comparing with the global standards? Now, Indian standard, the parameter is AIS 145. In European standards, it is UN R79 and US FMVSS and China GB T26773. Now, when it comes to minimum speed, the minimum speed in India is 60 km per hour, in Europe also 60 km per hour, but in US it is 72 km per hour and China 50 km per hour. When it comes to marking requirements, in India it also works with partial marking, but in Europe it needs clear marking. In America also it needs clear marking, but in China it can work with partial markings. Now, what is the steering torque limit? In India it is 3 Newton per Newton meter. In Europe it is 5 Newton meter. In US it is 4 Newton meter, and in China it is 3.5 Newton meter. What is the steering torque limit? Whenever steering is trying to bring the vehicle back, the torque applied on the steering wheel should not be greater than this. If it is greater than this, the human intervention can become very difficult. A human being trying to override the movement of the steering can become very difficult. That's the reason there is this limit. And coming to test roads, mixed quality roads, well marked highways, interstate highways and electronic toll roads. Now these are all the various types of roads used in India, Europe, US and China respectively. Okay. Now let's see a small case study as far as this concerning this Tata Safari lane keeping assist system. And just to for the record, first Indian SUV to market LKA in 2022 model is Tata Safari. It uses mobile eye camera technology. Mobile Eye is an Israel company which is very famous for camera systems, and it also adopts algorithm for Indian roads, reduced sensitivity to faded markings and adjusted steering torque for Indian driving styles. Now this LKA contributed to Bharat NCAP. I already told you that having a LKA system, it can add to points when it comes to the safety rating. Now, what are all the challenges faced by the Tata Safari during the development? First is oversensitive alerts on the city roads. Next, oversensitive means it is responding too frequently, thereby causing annoyance to the driver. That is the meaning of this oversensitive alerts. And next is camera blockage issues during the monsoons. During the monsoons, heavy monsoons, sometimes the vehicle can get submerged in a deep water. Then this can also cause the camera blockage, and also the driver trust issues. There are many drivers who are disabling the system because of the oversensitivity, or because the driver is feeling that this LKA system is causing annoyance to their driving. Now, when it comes to future of LKA in India, there are some upcoming developments which is AIS in the form of AIS 158. This is the proposed standard for active LKA. All right. Now, integration with the navigation maps. This is the biggest challenge. So, every car nowadays it has its own inbuilt GPS maps. Now, how to integrate this LKA system with the navigation map is the biggest challenge. And truck bus LKA under development by Ashok Leyland. So they want many automakers, like even truck developers, they want to integrate Tata Safari LKA system into the vehicle. Now coming to the market trends, expected to become mandatory by M1 vehicles by 2027, and cost reduction from 25,000 to 10,000, because India is a very cost sensitive market. So LK is adding approximately cost up to 25,000. So as on now the target is to bring the 25,000 cost to 10,000 rupees cost, and Indian specific solutions from Tata, Elxsi or Samsung or Harman. These are the services company which are providing this LKA solutions. All right. Now, what are the key takeaways? As of now, India only mandates lane departure warning, only lane departure warning, only the warning or information. It is neither mandating the intervention, either mild or strong. Now, testing must account for poor markings or chaotic traffic. And camera durability is critical for Indian conditions. Bharat NCAP is driving faster adoptions than regulations, and localized algorithms perform better than global solutions. Okay, so some automakers, they try to use global algorithms to in Indian market, which did not work. But it is only after they developed the algorithms locally that they started performing better than the global solutions. Okay, so these are the key takeaways. Thank you.